Okay, so I'll try something a little bit different for this channel. This is sort of going a little bit further than normal sort of school-based coding. Sort of in my spare time, I like to have a little play around with some I guess, crypto indicators, which use the data from various sort of crypto charts in order to give you data. Okay, because as you know, there's a lot of data in crypto, and if you want specific bits of it, this is what these programs do. So we're going to have a little two-part video here, and the idea of this particular script, this is going to, so if we have a look at, for example, the Bitcoin chart here, what we're going to do is we've got the 200 day SMA line, so this simple moving average, and I've got some Fibonacci pivot lines here. So if you're not sure what they are, just look them up. I won't go into that now. But the idea is we want to just see if the current price of a coin, in this case Bitcoin, is within a percentage of the 200 SMA and the pivot. Okay, so we want those two to kind of line up with the price, and then you could maybe think about doing what you want to do with it. So what our script is going to do is it's going to tell us when the price is within, in this case, 3% of the pivot line and the 200 SMA. Okay, so we've got some code here, and I'll just sort of talk you through it. We've got various libraries that I've imported, and if you don't know how to install libraries in Python, again, just go and look that up. That's kind of beyond the scope of this video, but you'll need to install those libraries. And they're not all used for this particular code, but as we go on and improve it, those libraries will be used. Okay. Now, the other thing you will need to do is you're going to need some data. And in this case, I've got the data from Binance. And in order to do that, you're going to need to connect to their API. Okay, now there's loads of really good tutorials on the web on how to do that. So just look up connecting your Binance API, and then essentially you get your API codes and you store them as a variable on your computer, and then Python can use that variable to connect into Binance to get the data. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done that, and again, just look at some tutorials that will show you how to do that. I'm not going to do that now. So what we've got is, in the case of this particular piece of code, remember this is just part one, we're going to look at Bitcoin USDT pair. Okay, so we're going to get the data for that, and what we're going to do is we're going to see if it's within 3%, or the price is within 3% of the 200 SMA and the pivot line, which I showed you here. Okay, so is the price within 3% of these two? Okay, so if I head back to my code, so we've got some various sort of bits in here on how we would do this, and in this case I've used a 15-minute time frame. Okay, you can change that by just changing the value here. Okay, and then that's the 200 SMA, which we'll just leave as it is at the moment. It will get the data from Binance, and it will calculate the various things. That will calculate the 200-day SMA. This will calculate the Fibonacci pivot, and I should say I haven't done these calculations. I used AI to help me, so possibly could have done it, but nobody has the time to do that sort of thing. So AI has helped me here, and I've got some conditionals here. So what we're saying basically is if we've got enough data for the 200-day SMA, okay, then it's going to run our program. If we don't have enough data, then it's not going to do that. So if that particular coin you're looking at hasn't got 200-day data points, the program's not going to run. Okay, so it's going to have to be a sort of experienced coin, if you like, an older coin. So I've got my conditionals in here. So this checks, first of all, if the 200 SMA is within 3% of the Fibonacci pivot. Okay, so for example, is that line within 3% of that line? Okay, what we don't want is we don't want to run the program if it's kind of miles away, all right, because it's not gonna give us the data we want. Okay, So we want to make sure, first of all, are those two close? Okay, are they within 3% of the price of each other? Okay, so on the assumption that they are, we then go a little bit further and then we check, is the current price within 3% of those two lines here? Okay, 3%, by the way, I've just made as an arbitrary number. Now you can change that percentage by altering the value just there, if you want 1%, 2%, and so on. If all of those conditions are correct, what it will do is it will print out the data. So it will print out the value of the 200-day SMA, the Fibonacci pivot, and the price, the current price. Okay, if it's not, then it will just give us the message there, and depending on the system you were following, you may not bother to look into that if you were to trade that particular coin. Okay, so let's run it and see what happens. Okay, so this is just for Bitcoin, by the way. Next one, I'm going to show us how to do all coins on Binance. So we're going to go ahead and run it, and what it's going to do is it's going to connect to the Binance API, like so, and it's printed out there the pair we're looking at, so Bitcoin USD. Okay, and it's calculated that the 200-day SMA is within 3% of the Fibonacci pivot at the moment. So let's just confirm that. If we go to the 200-day SMA and the Fibonacci pivot, yeah, just there. So look, we can see it's 0.6%, so that's correct. Okay, and then we'll just head back to our output. And we say the 200-day SMA on the 15-minute chart that's the value, so 34,863. So 200-day SMA on the 15-minute chart. Let's just check that. 3, so you can see the price on the right there. I'm not exactly where my pointer is, but yeah, that's correct. That's matched up. Fibonacci pivot is there. Okay, now mine is slightly different on my TradingView chart, because I think whoever's made this script is using a slightly different calculation to me. So you can see that is actually slightly different. And then the current price, just pretty much there. Yeah, so it's just obviously changed slightly since I ran the program. Okay, so what this is telling me is all these values are within 3%. So that, and the price is within 3% of each other. Okay. So you'd look at your system on how you're trading or doing whatever you're doing with it, and you think, okay, well, is this in a good position to trade at the moment? Okay, right, so that is how to do Bitcoin. Okay, so we've got the code just here. Okay, what I will do is move on to in the second part how you can do all coins and customize it so you can choose your time frame and the volume of the coin, so you can only look at coins of a certain high volume. Okay.